Hello and welcome to Starting Your Online Business. I'm your host, Sarah Kay. I'm going to be taking you through the next 30 minutes and sharing my top tips to starting that online business that you've probably been procrastinating and hoping and dreaming that one day that it's going to start up. I want to give you the knowledge to be able to start it up. And this is what this webinar is all about. I'm going to give you like the 10 top secrets, the steps, practical steps that you can take to making it happen. And the reason why I've done this amazing webinar to put all those 10 secrets together is because I launched a course recently, only on the back of Eventbrite. Basically, back in the day before COVID, I used to do startup sessions with Eventbrite in London, and they just sold out. Because of coronavirus, obviously people aren't going to be doing as much face-to-face. So I thought, I don't really want to stop people from starting up their businesses. So I started doing online sessions. But then when I created my course, I thought, hold on, everything is jam-packed in this course for people. But what about giving you a little taster of what the course is all about? It's practical steps to get you started. But if you have the knowledge and you have a little bit of insight, what are the top tips that Sarah Kay would give to you? So I've picked out my best bits from the course, and I'm going to share those. And all the main things, the main important sort of golden nuggets that I would share back in the day when it came to the one-to-one sessions. And these 10 things were very, very important. So I'm going to go through them step by step. I won't take up your time too much, 30 minutes maximum, or a bit longer than that, but no more, because really we just want to get to the golden nuggets, don't we? And this is what I'm all about. Treat others how you want to be treated. We want some golden nuggets, Sarah. I'm going to give those to you. And before we get that started, a little bit of information about myself. You are in safe hands. I always say this, but you genuinely are, because I'm a qualified marketing practitioner. I started up businesses when I was young. I think the youngest I was when I started my business was about 15 years old. So from doing that and then starting up several businesses and supporting other people and doing my marketing degree and training large organizations in social media, yeah, I have been busy. This is where I'm at now after 15 years of experience from working with big brands, startups, small businesses. It's really about giving people the knowledge that they would normally waste their time on Google from non-experts, because people normally say, oh, I'm an expert, but just because they've done it for one person or they've done it for themselves, they think they're experts. Just because you can hold a camera and take some selfies does not mean you're a photographer. So same thing, just because you do marketing personally or you can run some YouTube ads and do something amazing for yourself, it does not necessarily mean, and a few clients, does not necessarily mean that you are the doctor of marketing. So I like to see myself as the doctor, the practitioner, the specialist of digital marketing. I've done years of work, so I want to pass on that knowledge to you through this course. There's no umbrella approach, but the theme for this course is I want to save you money. To this webinar as well, I want to save you money. I want to make sure that we take out all the hassle, all the reading, all the time that you're going to be wasting, all in this one structured, practical tutorials as well that I'm going to have in there in the course. But these will give you just a rough idea of if you're on the right tracks. And if you're thinking of starting up, things that you should be thinking of, and hopefully you're already starting up so you can sign up to the course. But before you do that, let's see what's in the course with the webinar with my top 10 secrets, which are going to help you even if you don't want to take the course. Yeah. And by the way, the course is on a special offer for £159. It's like near enough half price. So it's definitely worth doing. But let's first go into my little golden nuggets. I'm going to share my screen with you, and you will get an idea of the 10 things that you need to be doing to and launch your business successfully, online business. Let's do this. Let me share my screen because I've created some lovely slides for you, and we can take it from there. Okay, Actually, it should be that one. So, secrets to starting an online business. First things first, your roadmap. You need to have a vague idea of where you want to go. Even having 5 milestones are very important. For example, the last one could be, I want to launch. Another one could be, I want to start on my social media. Another one could be website. The course goes through everything, we do everything, but you need to have a rough idea of when you want to launch, when you're going to start, really a vague idea of when your products are even going to be done. I say vague, but really, sometimes if you don't know when they're going to be ready, vague is good. Could be, I think it's about 2 weeks, or it could be 4 weeks. But roadmap, having an idea of what you're trying to achieve, how long it's going to take you, more like a plan, a roadmap. Bit like when we go on holiday or when we go away, what do we use? We use Google Maps, right? So we need a Google Maps for our business. And that's essentially what you need. Don't let it overwhelm you when I say roadmap. It could be as simple as this slide and you've just written next to them, I want to literally just start. I just want to start and I want to start with my website. So even just little milestones for yourself are very important. A roadmap of where you want to go. What do you want to achieve at the end? What is the bigger goal? What is your vision? I want to have my products ready on the website or my social media ready. I want, my products to have the best packaging, that kind of thing, branded, looking good, looking like a brand. A business that looks like a brand, there's a big difference. Those are the things that you would need to bear in mind when it comes to a roadmap. If you find this overwhelming or you're thinking so far, where do I start? Like I said, I help you do everything in the course, but even this is the main thing of just 4 or 5 things that you want to sort of bear in mind. I definitely say worth writing down. Next, my next top tip is people loosely mention this, finances. You need to look at your personal finances to see how much money every month that you can put aside for just marketing and advertising. So once you've done your products, you can have your products money aside, have your marketing advertising aside, but you need a vague, I always say vague actually, so far in this webinar I kept saying vague, but you need a rough idea of how much money you can put aside for starting up your online business. It also gives you an idea of when your money will run out, if it is. And then you can pre-plan before, okay, I've got 2 months, I need to make sure, or I've got 5 months to make sure that my brand is launched and it's making some money. But it all starts with personally knowing your finances. For example, in the course I mentioned how we look at your personal finances, we break it down, and then you have a rough figure that's left after you've got all your, bit of rent to the side. You've probably got 3 months or whatever, a little bit of backup rent as well, whatever it is, as long as you've got little bits of rent and your own personal money to keep you going, a little bit of money that keeps your business going, just another separate pot, and top tips I give for sort of managing your finances. We don't go into details, so don't worry. The scary finance chapter does not go into scary detail, but it gives you an idea of how to move forward when it comes to looking at your finances, not being afraid of them, and just basically saying, look, my business, I need to put X amount in my business pot to make sure that I can do my business, I can pay for my website, I can do marketing, I can make sure I get my sales done, and I'm not having to abandon the business, because research shows 1 in 3, I'd probably even say more, businesses fail within the first year. So by doing the course, by looking at your finances, having a roadmap, all these top tips that I'm going to give to you, or secrets, should I say, they should help you to make sure that you don't fail and fall in that rabbit hole. Yeah? And by the way, also in this chapter, I also put in a sheet That tells you your initial startup costs already done for you, done the work for you. That's what the course is all about. The work is done for you. And then there's another few sheets in there for income and expenses. So you can keep a track of everything. And like I said, everything is done for you, so it doesn't feel as overwhelming. So you will flourish and do really well. Number three. After we've done the roadmap, we figured out our finances, we need to put an action plan together. I wouldn't even call this action plan, I'd probably just call it planning. So if you're the type of person who has a planner, an organizer, amazing. You would put your dates or whatever rough idea in there. I keep saying rough, but bear with me. In the course, I've created a planner for you, yearly, monthly, and then weekly. You can use it how you want to use it, but the point of saying that is when you're starting up a business, to have the accountability factor, to make sure that you stay on target, to make sure that you hit your goals. Planning is key. So start with even rough. So I would even go into monthly. If you're starting up, just start with even a yearly one page yearly. Take a look at it and see, okay, I want to launch in September. When do I want to launch? When can I launch? You'll be able to figure it out, work your way backwards. So if, for example, your manufacturer says to you, your products will be ready, the final ones, after you've tested them, after you've gone through all the samples, they'll be ready December. You know, let's say it's 6 months from now. You have a rough idea that actually it'll be ready then, but I've got to get my website done. So by working backwards, you can plot and get everything else filled in, even like launching your social media. That's how important planning is. Yeah, just making sure that everything is on target and done to the best of your ability in a timely fashion. So if you're not doing it, plan. Make sure you're planning, and that you'll ensure you get things done. And I would say that you might say, well, I get really busy and then I can't do certain things. Have it in the diary that you know that you will be able to do these tasks. Also, find a friend and say, look, ask me, push me, make me accountable to these things. It always helps. Next, branding. So everything sort of the logistics are done, I would say. In the course, my module 4, chapter 4 is on branding. We do branding and I show you the ways that you can outsource branding practically and how you can brand yourself if it's you and you haven't got a lot of money and you're going to do it yourself. I show you the 2 ways in tutorials that you can do it, practical tutorials. So this in the webinar is to basically say when you're branding, the most important thing you can do is thinking about, will you outsource it or will you do it yourself? A business is just a business. A brand is something more. It's basically when people think of you, let's say people think of fashion and they think, or handbags, you're one of the first that come to mind. Branding is when you've created something meaningful when people don't need to think to remember you. Does that make sense? They don't need to think a lot. Just like when we think of cars, we're like, oh yeah, BMW, Mercedes. That's branding. Mercedes and BMW have worked on branding for years, but we're doing it online, so you're one step ahead. You've got digital by your side, so you can slowly turn your business into a brand as well. In the course, and something that I'm going to mention here, which is very important, it's not just visuals, it's verbal as well. How you write, how you talk about your business. When people think of you, how do you want them to feel? I see branding as like an extension of you. I see branding as a person. You're trying to build this person in a way, and you want to go to someone and say, hey, this is my brand, this is what I'm all about, or not even what I'm all about, but you know what I mean, this is something amazing. And it's amazing because aren't you sick of marketing and how everyone markets the same old way and they're all trying to sell to you? Well, what I'm giving you is something slightly different. I know I'm tying in strategy with branding, which the course already mentioned strategy in the roadmap, But strategy and branding, we practically align them together and then we work on brand. Remember how you speak visually, and when you're thinking about branding, the colors, keep them consistent. Your logo, are you going to make your logo? Are you going to outsource it? There are websites like Fiverr.com or Canva where you can create one yourself. There are so many options, but branding is going to be key for you. Even when you brand the way your social media looks, you can use platforms like Canva and Fiverr.com where you outsource it to get some of the important logos and get them created. But I want people to just ensure that what we're trying to do here is it's not just about visuals. It's more than visuals. It is just like we're creating a character that people are going to like, a brand, a community that people want to follow. Because Apple didn't just become this brand that and a community that people want to follow just like that, just from a nice Apple logo. They did a lot of things by building a community, and it started with branding. So if you want to get those sales in and you want people to remember you, branding is key. More information is in the course of how to do this, but bear that in mind because research shows that people remember brands and connect with brands, not businesses as much, but brands on Instagram and social media. So things that people resonate with, brands that they're like, oh yes, yeah, I feel, I understand that brand, I'm with that brand, I aspire to be a part of that brand. So bear that in mind when you are doing branding. And take a look at the other brands as well, see how they've done their logos, what you think, if you like them, if you don't, because eventually you'll see, even with smaller businesses, what isn't working, what is, and what you like. And it'll cut out a lot of time that you would have probably wasted on a logo that you loved, but at the end it just looked like some other logo that someone else has done, which I've had on many occasions as well with some clients. So yeah, take time, but this is a creative visual bit and it's always a fun bit. But yeah, tip for branding. When it comes to starting up your business, I would say the fifth thing is making sure that you buy your domain. GoDaddy, one-on-one. If you're using Squarespace with Shopify, they normally give you the first year for free if you're buying their annual package. So I'd say the nitty-gritty domain, very important. You might say to me, Sarah, all the names are taken that I'm thinking of. You can put LDN if you're London. If it's global, you can do global, international in it, hyphen, whatever, but make sure you buy .com as the main one. Default, if you're global, always goes .com, but get creative, I would even say. And don't just buy the domain if loads are taken. Sleep on it, come back and buy it. If you're lucky, if you're very lucky and the domain's not taken, then and you can think about it for years and buy it straight away, because it's very tough to sort of, you know, certain domains, they'll just go, right? But hopefully it's just like a car registration, really, a personalized car registration. The good ones go quick. But if you've got a unique name, perfect. If you haven't, take some time, put a hyphen in it, think about it, .co.uk. Is it just UK? You might just want to get .co.uk. But I always say default, always get .com as well. But you can have hyphens in there, you can have LDN for London, you can have UK in it, you can have FI, France, whatever it is, whatever country that you're from, you can always put an initial or something in there. So think about it, but get creative with domain if you can't find it. But very important that you purchase the domain at this stage, at number 5. Step number 6 is setting up that professional email. Remember, in the course, all these things, I go through demos, step-by-step guides that I've created for you guys, but setting up a professional email is very important. Research shows that when people see a professional email, when I say professional, I mean not at hotmail.com. So if you, for example, me, sarahklondon.com is my website, and then my email is sarah@sarahklondon.com. So my name, and then, you know, the domain, essentially, your email, professional, sarahklondon.com. So I'd say that needs to be done as well on your side to make sure it is looking professional. There is a free if you've purchased your domain, there's a way of getting your email for free, because normally you have to purchase for a business email, call it a business email, and or a personal, whatever, but a private email, the at whatever your business is.com. Using GoDaddy and one-on-one, you have to pay for it, and any other provider. I've got a free way, so it costs like £2-3 a month, but it does add up. You can spend that money on advertising. So there's a free way of doing it, and I show you in the course. So if you want your, probably even £5 a month, if you want your email for free, I'm saving you loads of money, I promise you, with this course. So that's another way to find out. Sign up to the course. Next, creating your website. Shopify, Wix, Squarespace, all the different options you have. You don't need to go to a web developer. If it's something really complicated, then fair enough, I could understand. But this within itself will save you about, I'd say, thousands. So people normally ask me, which one would you use, Sarah? Shopify or Wix or Squarespace? From working with clients, they normally say to me, the one on the screen right now, Squarespace, is the one that they prefer. But I would say you can trial them. You can trial them for 15 days and see what works. By the way, if you're going to use something like Squarespace, Wix, and Shopify, don't buy your domain just yet. Just hold fire. Because if you do decide to go with any of these three providers, I know Squarespace give you the domain for free. Give you the domain for free if you buy the annual package. Maybe the monthly one, I can't remember. You'll have to check that one out. But from what I know, you can trial out Squarespace and see what works for you, and Wix and Shopify. But like I said, the best one so far, if you want to keep it clean, professional, and sexy, I've noticed that Squarespace looks the best. And by the way, I get no money. This is no affiliate paid promotion. I get no money from talking about any of these three providers. It's just I've used many in the past. And I've used WordPress, I've used Joomla, I've used all sorts of CMS web design providers, whatever you want to call them. You know what I'm saying? I've used all of them. And I've noticed that the best one that I've stuck with for the longest has probably been Squarespace. So basically with the website, take a look at Squarespace. They give you templates, and all you need to do is very simply, you can create your own website. They've done all the work for you. The course goes through a tutorial of Squarespace, and I create the website. So I show you how to create the website. Doesn't matter what the template you buy, or you put, not template you buy actually, sorry, you don't buy a template. With Squarespace, it's a yearly cost. If you ask me, Sarah, on the top of your head, how much is it? I think it's 188. You do get a 10% discount with certain ones. I've included it in the course, how you get your 10% discounts, etc. Depending on what country you're in, it could be less, because in the UK, we have to pay taxes. So it's 188 in the UK for a year, but it's 100% worth it because you pay nothing else. You don't pay for templates, you don't pay for anything else. And it's worth building, and you can create your own shop, you can do whatever you want. All you need to do is just literally watch the tutorial I've created, or Squarespace guides, which are free, and create something beautiful and amazing yourself. But I would say creating your website is very important. An online store, you might say to me, Sarah, but how do people purchase things? In the course, I mentioned how you can purchase devices if you're a shop to get paid, which are the best devices at the best prices. See, done all the work for you. Also, I mentioned with Squarespace that Squarespace already has integrated PayPal and Stripe, and I show you how to link that to your website as well in the course. But the point of sharing this with you is use them. You can do it by yourself. You don't essentially need the course, but a lot of your time wasting will be taken out from just going on and going through the course and creating this. Even on the website chapter 7, I go through photography. I actually show you how you can create amazing photography for your website. So something to bear in mind. Oh, and also in the course, I know in the branding section, I go through packaging. So if you're looking for effective ways of just maybe tweaking your packaging or whatever it is, if you're a digital business, then you can ignore that one, but it's always good to take a look at, you never know. And then you've also got product marketing, which I show you in branding website. So that's something that I would be aware of, because product marketing is very important. Basically, how your products are going to look and how you're going to show them to other people on your website. For example, on my website, you've seen them as like tiles. So you've seen like the computer with the sheets on the sort of screen. So that was product marketing. Branding, product marketing. So all those things, creating my website, I had to think about all those things. I've given you all the guidelines. I've even added a photo shoot brief, which is essential to creating high-end professional photos. So definitely the course is very useful. I can't go through everything on this webinar, but I hope you purchase that course, because it's $159 for a short period of time, very limited time, a launch offer. But I definitely recommend it if all these things are something important, but you want practical tutorials and you want to get stuff done and launch. So something to bear in mind. I also go through starting up your social media. One of the things I would say is just even starting. So I've even put a storyboard in there for your first 6 posts when you're launching. And I actually give you everything you need to launch. Captions, hashtags. I've done all the hard work for you. If you say to me, Sarah, but let's forget the course aside, what do I do? Not to overwhelm you, to get you started, I always recommend just post even everyday lifestyle. You could be out having coffee. Doesn't need to be a picture of yourself, but take a snap of your coffee, maybe a good background. People like to know about people. Start your Instagram with a bit of lifestyle in it, because a lot of people do mention Instagram to me, by the way. That's why I'm just focusing on Instagram. But if you're a professional and it's digital services or professional services, LinkedIn. You need to think about what are your first few, what do your target audience want to read? Could it be something in educational, sorry. Could it be a fact or figure that they're interested in? Those stuff sometimes can be boring. Even just connecting with people, even connecting and sharing a webinar. Like me, I've done this webinar. I can now put it on LinkedIn. Yours could be short, sharp, and sweet, right? With just your top tips of the day. Put it on LinkedIn. Share it with the professionals, your target audience. All these social media might seem overwhelming, but all these things are super important. And social media is one of those things that's going to be important for your business. And I'm not just saying it because default everyone says it. As a practitioner, as an expert, that's where the people are. So if you're not even just engaging with them, and by the way, social media is not just to put posts up. I want you to see it as your phone book in this business. You're going to have a collection of customers. You're going to have a collection of clients. Put them separate to the side. I'm creating this, I've created this community full of thousands of business people, right? And I can't keep up. And what I did is I thought, WhatsApp group doesn't work. I know it's not going to work, too many people. So I created a private Instagram account for this unique private business employees group of people to share my golden nuggets with them. And it's actually the community, you meet me, but then the community offline is this hidden community on Instagram. You do your events and then say, hey, follow me. And then they come to events. If you can't come to one event, they'll eventually come to your events. So use social media as building a community rather than, oh, I've got to post and I have to do it. Because it's not just about posting. It's about staying in touch with people. If you're a business to consumer and you're thinking, I can't stay in touch with everyone, Sarah, people are going to complain. They're going to complain about business. You need to be ready and be engaging with people, because having some cheerleaders in your community will help you. Also, looking like you stay active. 1 post a week. It doesn't take a lot. The rest, engage with people. When I say engage, speak to them, connect with people. If you don't do that, then you're not going to make the money from social media. Then it's no problem. If you don't want to do it, we can put social media to the side. But it is essential if you want to build relationships that are going to equal sales eventually. And when I say build relationships, you might say to me, Sarah, I can't speak to all my customers. I don't mean speaking to all your customers. I just mean building up rapport with them. And you can do that using platforms like Instagram. You don't necessarily need to connect with them one-to-one, because your Instagram is just, like I said, an extension of your business personality. All right. So social media, very important. Just start with one post. Start with one post and make it a lifestyle post, and make it come from the heart. As cheesy as it sounds, but I think people connect with, you know, let's say you're starting off. What are you scared of? Share it, be vulnerable. You'll see how many people will eventually go back to your posts and be like, oh my God, I love what you post. People want to feel like you understand them. If you don't understand them and act like you're on, well, I'm enjoying my life, I'm in central London, earning loads of money, you might be, right? But that is not what people want to hear. Make it about them. I'm enjoying myself in central London offices, my office. But I'm not going to tell everyone that, because who cares? I wouldn't randomly go to the street and be like, hey, check me out, I'm doing amazing. People want to know that you care about them. And as a business environment, what do you have to offer them? So put yourself in their shoes. Remember, it's not about check me out. It's like we already see on Instagram, and I'm sick of it. A lot of people, independent research that we do at my agency, and you know, at my company and the business that I've created, we look at independent research, and we've realized that actually there's a little shift, and the building connections is more important. So remember that when you do social media, and try to put yourself in the shoes of the customer. Even if you can't and you don't get it, go and attend some events and listen to them and see what they want, and eventually be able to create amazing content that they will love themselves. Also, check out your competitors, see what they're doing, see what they're posting, see what engagement they get, and which posts don't get good engagement. That will give you a rough idea as well of what's good and what isn't. Coming to near the end, number 9, action. So in the course, I know, sorry, the course again, but in the course, I actually put an action plan in there, step-by-step action plan. And this, for me to you, if it's just watching this webinar, had a long day. Words are not being pronounced properly, and I don't even drink, so it must be a long day. Action plan is very important, you taking action. So even you joining this webinar, start somewhere. Start with something so small as tomorrow. I'm just going to put the little 5 milestones Sarah said, the little roadmap. What am I going to do? But action is key. Talk is cheap. Action is more meaningful. Yeah, I know people say talk is cheap, but action is more meaningful. I just came with that on the spot. But very important to take action with these things. Otherwise, you're going to be here for another year, and then another year, another 10 years are going to go past, and you're like, oh my God, someone else is doing business that I wanted to do. Or, oh my God, I would have been amazing and I didn't do it. And years will go past, and it's not worth it. You deserve to start up a business. I'm sure whatever you're doing is great, because everyone, I can't think of anyone who has approached me and thought, oh my God, this is dreadful. Then again, maybe in community groups, but one-to-ones, luckily, when I've spoken to people, I think they're onto something. This is amazing, but action is key. Yeah. So go through this and think, from all the things that I've said, what can I action? Finances, you can action. Planning, you can action. Everything you can action. Or buy the course, you can action that. Last but not least, measure and review. Measure, review, and improve comes from looking at data, analytics. If you don't know what that is, don't worry. I explain it all in the course, but if you haven't got time for that, then essentially, well, you need to actually, because I explained the data. So you're going to start up and you're going to see what's working, what isn't, what products you need to know. All the big brands do this. They look at analytics, insights. Is the website doing good? What can we do better on social media? This is the secret sauce, this final bit. There's so many secrets in here, but this is literally the secret sauce as well, because you can't just leave something running. If you want to know what's doing well, what isn't, looking at analytics. So if you have Google Analytics, Squarespace, using them, Shopify, Wix, they should have some form of analytics. Analytics is just data behind your website. It tells you how many people came to your website that month, where they came from, is it social media, where it came from. When I say where it came from is important, I say it twice. It's because you want to know, is your social media paying off all the work that you're doing? If it isn't, don't worry, by the way, it takes time. Are they coming from Google eventually? Obviously, it might not happen after a month, but slowly after a few months, you can tell from looking at the analytics what's working, what isn't. And I'd say that final bit is very important, and a lot of marketing gurus miss out a lot of these things. And I think they're crucial if you need to succeed. And I've gone through all those 10 secrets, with this final one being the cherry on top. Now, I hope those 3 have helped. I say 3. I mean, hope the 10 have helped, but the 3 main ones to begin with, just to get you started, depending on where you are, is remember, it's the roadmap, it's the finances, and it's the planning. Get those 3 out of the way and you can move on to the next bit. Remember, the course goes through detail and the tutorials, and I'll get you going. So I definitely recommend signing up to it. It's on my website. I'll send you a link as well. saraklondon.com. Highly useful, because all the things that I've mentioned, we're going to be practically doing them together, and it gives you a starting point. Plus, for the price of half a suit, maybe a blazer, that's an expensive blazer, but for £159, you're getting all the knowledge that you need. And by the way, the knowledge is 15 years of knowledge that's come together in this course that I am putting out there for you. I definitely recommend signing up to it. You get a lifetime access to it, meaning every year or every year and a half, 2 years, I'm going to update the course. You don't need to pay anymore. It's just that one-off payment to be able to have access to the best and updated startup course. Now, if you're more interested in a social media one, I've got a social media course coming up. I need to just update it. So end of July is going to be when the social media course is going to be live. So stay tuned to that. But I personally hope that the 10 steps, the 10 secrets have helped you on your journey. And this session, this webinar has given you the support that you need. I genuinely hope you do an amazing job and you get through all that and you just start. Remember, the first thing is just starting. And I genuinely look forward to supporting you on your journey. And I just want to say thank you so much for having me and allowing me on your journey. I hope you have a fantastic week. Good luck, and I'm sure I'll speak to you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.